Your unique story, our global audience. Global One Media.
Hello, and welcome to our series of interviews with decision makers and senior leaders of companies across the board to help you, our viewers, make informed and intelligent investment decisions. I am Munir Barazi, your business analyst and host, and today I am pleased to welcome David Williams, the executive chairman at Thomson Resources, an exploration company that is positioned to leverage several polymetallic properties in New South Wales, Australia, with its carefully crafted hub and spoke strategy. Thomson Resources is listed on the ASX as TMZ and on the OTCQB as TMZRF. Hello, David. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good evening, Munir, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise. So I want to ask you about the exciting updates you've released recently, but first, let's give our viewers some context. Can you tell us about Thomson Resources, its unique capabilities, and also a brief overview? Give us a brief overview of your projects.
Yeah, thanks, Munir. We're based in Australia, solely our projects in Australia, principally in New South Wales, but also in Queensland. The primary focus is on bringing together what we call our hub and spoke strategy in the northern New South Wales, southern Queensland area. And primarily that is focused on silver, so one of the critical metals, silver, but also about extracting value from some of the other associated metals such as gold, copper particularly, zinc, tin and lead. And the way we do it is we're not starting from scratch. We've brought together a series of projects that have once operated as mines many years ago but are suboptimal in the current day. But by bringing them together in this hub and spoke and bringing the resources out of each of those projects into a centralised processing facility, we get the economies of scale, we get the mine life, we also get the flexibility of commodity mix so that we can move a little bit with the changing commodity prices. But importantly, we've got resources, we've got the social licence to mine, we know it's extractable, we know it's there. So we're not starting from scratch, we're starting from a well-advanced position. And we've essentially completed the first part of the scoping study, which is how will it all work? And we'll do some further refinement of that during 2023 before we then move into the feasibility study stage.
Very promising, especially with the focus on scale and how you're seeking to achieve that with your central processing facility and the study associated with that. You've recently released assay results from your prospects in Lachlan Fold Belt Project. Congratulations. Those were very remarkable findings. Could you walk us through the details?
Yeah, look, so as I said, our primary focus, our primary project is the New England Fold Belt. But prior to embarking on that, we were also working down in the Lachlan Fold Belt, which is in central New South Wales. And principally that was focused on tin and the Bygoo Tin Project, which has some pretty good tin results from the various rounds of drilling we've done down there. The tin is running at around 1 to 2%, which is, if you put it into context this day and age on gold, that's probably sort of 4 to 8 grams per tonne gold and all from the surface. But that area, apart from Bygoo and the tin, there are other areas of tin, such as Buddy Gower and Gibson Vale, but also a series of projects of gold. And we've mainly been focused on Harry Smith, which is just to the south of Bygoo, and Yalgongren, which is a bit further north from Harry Smith. So, we've been with the very wet weather we've had in Australia over the last 3 years with La Nina, we had very curtailed drilling programs. So the guys took the opportunity when they could, because essentially it's not ground disturbing, to go out to some of the other areas and some of the other targets that we hadn't got to, and essentially went onto the ground and did most explorers do, and grabbed some rocks, and looked around to see, well, what's the surface expression? What are we seeing? And there were sort of three target areas that we went to, and the first one, as I mentioned, was Bygoo, which is out there on the east, which is a mixture of tin and silver, and there were some pretty spectacular results out there. Not as strong on the gold, but that's because that's a more of a tin silver area. And some of the assays revealing 610 grams per tonne of silver, and a number of other of the metals around. But then there was like the Pikes prospect, which is in the gold area, further down to the south. And one of the rock chips there was 98 grams per tonne gold. So yes, you get some concentrated results when you're dealing with rock chips, but 98 grams per tonne gold is pretty good, and I'll take that any day. So it's around working. So it's what has been worked. So again, it just reinforces this collection of tenements, this project in the Lachlan Fold Belt. Not only is it sort of world class as far as the tin is concerned, but there's still a lot of gold around there to be worked up, and it is underexplored, and it just demonstrates by moving out to some of these new areas the potentiality that's there. Now, as I said before, our main focus is on the New England Fold Belt, and as we flagged just before Christmas, we find it hard to commit the time and resources to the Lachlan Fold Belt. So 2023 will be about getting value back to shareholders in relation to that project, either through a demerger or through a divestment. And I can tell you there's plenty of work there to be done, and plenty of good results waiting to happen once we get that going.
Well, based on the assay results, I can certainly be optimistic about the results that can be discovered in the future. And as you mentioned, this is an underexplored area. What are the next milestones in your exploration program for the Lachlan Fold Belt?
Well, I think once we get to the situation to do the next drilling program, it will be to move the Bygoo Tin Project to its maiden resource. We just got curtailed with the rain during the last season, so we certainly want to develop up that tin, because tin is certainly it's not a well understood mineral. It is a critical mineral. It's very important as far as solar panels, electric vehicles, anything electric is concerned. But it's not sort of well understood. But the tin prices are just going back through the roof again. So we really want to package that up, because there's a lot of value there. It's also then to get out to some of these other areas that we just haven't been able to get to, and to do some drilling programs. So quite heartened by what we've seen at Bygoo. So we've really got to get out there and look at that. I mean, particularly the high-grade silver is very interesting to get into a drilling program there. And similarly down with that Pikes, 98 grams per tonne, you just can't ignore that. So it'll be about expanding some of these occurrences, these areas of mineralization, not just on the tin, but also on the gold.
And with those high-grade results, you should be very close to achieving your goal regarding extracting and processing 100 million silver ounce equivalents. Any updates regarding achieving that objective?
Yeah, now look, so just to make that clear, the Lachlan Fold Belt doesn't fit within that target of the 100 million silver equivalent ounces. That's the target we set ourselves for the New England Fold Belt, for the scale. But dealing with that, the published results at the moment, 87, just a bit over 87 million silver equivalent ounces, running at 119 grams per tonne silver equivalent. They are just our published resources, and we have yet to do updated resources for the remaining 6 deposits at Mount Carrington. We've only done two of the deposits there, in a fairly conservative way. We've constrained ourselves to the pit shells. So we know from resources that are already published by White Rock Minerals that ASX won't let me refer to, but you can go and look at them yourselves. You'll see that even if we just achieved those, and they only included gold and silver and not some of the other minerals like copper and zinc, which we demonstrated when we restated or updated the Kylo and Strauss resources, that by doing that increased the resources by 50%. So a significant uplift. And we'll come back to the copper in a minute. But so I'm very comfortable that once we complete those updated mineral resource estimates, which is our aim in the first half of 2023, that target will be well exceeded. And so, but we just have to do the work. We just have to pull it together, work through, satisfy ourselves about the quality of the data, and then include the other minerals, not just the gold and the silver, and away we go.
Well, you've achieved several important milestones in 2022, and you're starting 2023 on a strong footing. So I think optimism is warranted. What is the significance of all of those developments for Thomson Resources shareholders?
Yeah, look, I think it's been a funny year, 2022, as far as we're concerned. We achieved an awful lot, as you said, with the mineral resource estimates that we published in the first part of the year, and then achieving the scoping study, particularly that central processing pathway study in the second half of the year, and demonstrating that it all hangs together and works. And then, towards the end, then starting that pathway of making sure the company is focused. And in the case of the Texas project, which didn't come up strongly in that central processing pathway study, we managed to achieve a sale of that project to an interesting company. And it's not that Warwick Gold are not focused on the silver side. They're actually focused on other minerals that they see in this region. And I think that, it'll be very interesting to watch how that develops. And as we've spent a lot more time working with them, we're getting a better understanding of that. But so with that, we've got our pathway set, which is, we know the New England Fold Belt hub and spoke strategy works well. We just now need to refine it. The silver price was all over the place during 2022. It wasn't our friend, or it wasn't anyone's friend during 2022. But I think what we saw in early December was it seems sort of settled on that running around $23.5 to $24.5 US an ounce. And we're starting to see that sort of stability and that gradual build up. So I think, in 2023, we should see that gradual strengthening of the silver price. I think there's a growing understanding of the importance of silver and the lack of physical silver around, and we're starting to see that play out. But it's also some of the other critical minerals that we're looking to extract, and most notably is copper. We've talked a little bit towards the end of the year about that there is a lot of copper at Mount Carrington. The whole central set of deposits sits within a 1 kilometre diameter copper soil anomaly. And we've been doing a lot more work on that. And you'll see that come out during the first half of 2023. And it's not that we're shifting focus. It's what is important to remember, that central processing concept is extract the silver and the gold in a saleable form, but also extract out the copper and the zinc and other metals where you've got them of scale to get value for them. So in the sense of copper, I mean, the more copper we find is good because the processing pathway is about extracting it. I won't say copper's done what tin has, but it's certainly taken off, and the price is increasing. So again, this is the flexibility and the advantage of having this commodity mix and being focused on getting value for the different commodities, because as different ones run, then we can bring in a bit more focus on that, and that improves the economics of the whole project.
Remarkable, and your exposure to several minerals certainly is an advantage in the case of Thomson Resources. David Williams, Executive Chairman at Thomson Resources, thank you so much for sharing those updates. We look forward to hearing from you again soon.
A pleasure, Munir, and I look forward to having another chat in the not too distant future.